Hello, Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest, Chapter 76. When we last left our heroes, Aquarius appeared, as spirits do not need their keys to get into Elentier due to the excess magic power. And she saw Lucy brainwashed and turned into a sea serpent, and she immediately went on the attack. Didn't do a lot of physical damage to Lucy, as Lucy was kind of immune to water magic. But due to a well-placed hug and the stream of memories that Aquarius was able to summon, and just the strong bond between Lucy and Aquarius, Aquarius broke Yoko's control over Lucy, and Lucy gained her memories back, and thanks to another well-placed smack from Aquarius, Lucy went back to normal. And so yeah, now the three of them, Natsu, Lucy, and Aquarius, are now going to find Gray and just generally kick ass through all the yokai. Speaking of Gray, he tries to freeze the tigerified Happy and Carla, and the ice just melts. And that's where we leave off, going into Chapter 76, Battle of the Twin Tigers. And our picture here is of Happy and Natsu in this kind of Egyptian-inspired garb. We see a pyramid and a sphinx in the background. They're riding a camel, staying cool in the hot sand. A dragon, cat, and camel make for a rare trio. And so we open pretty much where we left off, with Gray standing in front of Happy and Carla. I like that Happy is much more placid, where Carla's like kind of snarling down at Gray. And Wendy calls, "Happy, Carla, go get him, Jan." And Gray just kind of growls, "Ice won't work on them? Now what?" And we see Happy and Carla go to lunge at Gray, and he jumps back. "I've got no choice. This is something I never do to small animals. But right now, you're huge. I'm gonna punch you." So we're seeing kind of the exact same thing that Aquarius ended up using to Lucy. And Mimi, very excited. He's resorting to physical attacks too. And Hakane laughs. Lovely. Youko is still kind of freaking out. "How many times is my witchcraft going to fail?" That's a weird line, given that it's only failed the once. Like, him just starting to punch Happy and Carla is not the same thing as it failing already. Though maybe physical strength... Well, no, because Selene said last time there was specifically memories and emotions that undid the witchcraft, not Aquarius's slap. But either way, we see Gray get ready to punch Happy and Carla. Happy and Carla, their claws are coming down to scratch at Gray, not Natsu. And just then, Gray sees the image of Happy and Carla in their normal forms. And he kind of freaks out. And Wendy cries, "Wah, I can't do it." And he closes his eyes. "Don't bully Happy and Carla, nya." And just then Natsu shows up and just kicks Carla upside the face. "You okay, Gray?" Natsu, or Gray, for some reason I keep getting them confused today. That's Happy and Carla!" And we see Wendy crying now that it looks like he hit Carla, but it looks like it's actually Happy who falls. What? Happy and Carla? And Lucy and Aquarius have also arrived, and Aquarius looks at them, but they're tigers. And Gray sees them. "Lucy? And Aquarius?" And Aquarius just like, we're not answering this question right now. We'll talk later. Right now we gotta change those cats into shrimp back. And Lucy asks her, "But how?" "Like this." And Aquarius has grabbed Wendy by the throat. Gah! And she just starts pouring water into her mouth. Maybe it's the same kind of stream of memories spell she used on Lucy last chapter? Maybe? And we see Wendy kind of gurgle. And Natsu calls, "What are you doing to Wendy?" Gray also, "Why you? Just shut up and watch." Aquarius just stops them. We see Happy and Carla. For some reason, I want to call everyone Natsu today. For reasons I do not understand. I almost called Happy Natsu there. But we see they're still, like, they're unconscious after Natsu's attack. "Nya, nya." And Lucy kind of at least thinks she's figured it out. Of course, Aquarius's water probably has some kind of healing effect or something. And then Wendy coughs. "What is this water? Nya." And Aquarius just kind of smirks at her. Heh. Poison! What? He's just fucking killing her! Aquarius! Maybe his poison specifically, like, attacks the yokai, magic or something. Natsu and Gray both react, hey! That water destroys every cell in the body. You're as good as dead. And Lucy snaps at her, how could you? It's fine, so shut it. And Wendy kind of snaps back, too bad for you, Nya. I can use magic to recover from abnormal conditions. And we see Lucy, and Aquarius grins. Probably that healing magic is going to accidentally go too far, especially if that comes from Wendy's own Sky Dragon Slayer magic. Like, leaning back into her own magic undoes the spell, maybe. I don't know. Natsu and Gray both cheer, hurry, Wendy! We see she starts her spell, Raise. And then, yeah, her Raise spell has brought her back to normal, in her normal clothes. Huh? And Natsu and Gray are both stunned. Huh? Lucy has figured it out. Her yokai form was an abnormal condition, so when Wendy used that magic on herself, and Wendy, I'm not sure how we should read that expression there on the top of page 12. Because it looks like she's kind of realizing what she's done, which is the exact opposite of what what happened to Lucy after she came back to normal last time. You know, Lucy had no idea what had happened, she didn't know why she was hurt. Anyway, I will say, well, the lack of a fight is slightly, the series built up, the Gray versus Wendy fight for only a couple of chapters, but still, like, enough to expect an actual fight. I do like this kind of strategic thing here. Aquarius poisoning Wendy makes her have to heal herself, remove herself of any abnormal conditions, which includes the yokai form. I think this is a really clever twist. Anyway, Aquarius kind of sighs. Looks like you're back to normal. And then Aquarius turns to Natsu and Gray. Of course, that wasn't really poison. Just plain old water. Oh! More than just... That's just an extra layer to the trick. That's damn smart. What? And we see Youko is kind of freaking out now at how easily her witchcraft is being undone. And Selene laughs. Oh. Natsu and Gray both go to give her a big hug. Wendy! Yeah! Now hurry up and heal those cats! And Wendy kind of nods. Right. I don't know what's happening, though. So yeah, she still doesn't know. I think it's more... This panel at the top of page 12 is more just her kind of confusion at what's going on. She just woke up in a cave. That's my reading of it, at least. And we see Youko is really starting to panic now. Impossible! And Wendy, very quickly, heals Happy and Carla there. Same way she healed herself. And Carla asks, so we were being controlled? And Happy is, like, shaking. I was a huge tiger! And Wendy kind of holds herself. Somehow I feel like I did something terribly embarrassing. And Aquarius comforts her. Don't worry. This girl had her boobs out on full display. And Lucy kind of freaks out. Huh? No way! She pressed my face right in there, is Natsu's response. Kya! And then Gray says, all that's left is Erza, Touka, and Faris. Touka and Faris, by the way, should still be looking for the Whiteout High Priest or whatever, and should not actually be a part of this leg of the arc. Wendy responds, I don't know where Touka and Faris are, but I was together with Erza. And Happy asks, which means Erza's a yokai too? Don't say such dreadful things. So I'm imagining, though, that it's not going to be as simple to cure Erza, as it was for Wendy and the cats. Maybe it's just because Wendy did it on herself, so she was a willing participant in the spell, and Happy and Carla were unconscious, so like they couldn't really resist. And Erza will just be harder to get down in order to cast the raise spell on her. I don't know. We'll see. And Selene back in the dining room. Hey, Youko, I'm getting bored. Don't you worry, Selene-sama. She jumps up. Here is tonight's performance. The Scarlet Swordswoman strengthened by my witchcraft. And just then, we see this, like, rumbling in the cave. Not again. What? Lucy and Wendy look around. This is yokai. And we see what looks like a paw. Jorogumo. And Erza is a giant spider woman. She's got her human torso attached to a spider. Jorogumo is a spider yokai that takes the form of a beautiful woman to entice prey. We also see she's also topless like Lucy was. She's got a spider tattoo around, I'm not sure if you can see it, but like right around here-ish, along with a spider tattoo covering... Is that her fake eye? Her fake eye only very rarely comes up. I came up once at like the beginning of 100 Years Quest, I think. But I think that is her fake eye. I wonder if that's a coincidence. I wonder if that means something, or if it's just, it covers one eye and it happens to be the fake one. We also see, while the rest of her torso looks generally human, with the exception of like the spider tattoo, and there's something else going on with the eye covered by the spider tattoo, her hands are black. I'm curious if that means something. Either way, she's a giant fucking spider. That's the important thing. That is the important thing. She's a giant spider looming over Team Natsu. Erza! Gwa! And Aquarius just, like, kind of gives this, like, soft smile. A snake, a cat, now a spider. And Lucy's also panicking. This is bad. If Erza's strength was enhanced... but Wendy, given that, you know, she's the one with the healing spell, jumps in front of everyone to guard them. Leave this to me. Raise! And she starts to use it on Erza. Oh? And she just instantly comes back. Okay. Alright, that's a choice. What in the world? She's back! And Lucy cheers, you did it! She was just one big punchline. Yeah, I mean, Happy's kind of right. Well, considering Wendy's power, that's just how it is. Yeah, I imagine this is going to absolutely reflect on where Youko goes from here. Assuming Selene does not just kill her right now. But yeah, back in the party room, Youko is panicking. All of her plans have come to naught. And Selene turns to her. Youko? Eep! I'm bored. And we see Youko, like, sweat dripping down her face. Nothing is distorted. I can't even enjoy a drink like this. We see Selene's hair is, like, starting to raise. Youko is just, you know, she's about to die, I think. Go. Entertain me personally. Or not. She has one final chance. Of course. I will plunge them into the hell of distortion. And then we leave the mountain, presumably to go check in on Touka and Faris. Yeah, the two of them have arrived at what I'm assuming is the Whiteout Shrine. And Touka asks Faris, this is the Whiteout Village? But Faris is kind of unnerved. Strange. There's no sign of anyone. And they walk up the steps. There's this long set of steps leading to the shrine. Or maybe it's like a gate as the entrance to the village, maybe? I don't know. We see Touka's shocked at something. Faris kind of stammers, no. The village! And yeah, they see the village, and it's just completely in ruins. Someone's there! And we see a silhouette. And to be continued next time. Okay. Alright. Let's talk about this chapter. I really liked... I'll talk about the Erza part in a minute. I'm going to talk about the first, I think, 14 pages. I like how the Wendy fight is handled. I like the kind of, you know, the trick that that Aquarius plays. And I like that, you know, Wendy's healing magic goes too far and heals her of Yoko's spell. I think that's a really, really clever move. But also, as they kind of note after the Erza scene, it is just a little too overpowered for this situation. And it takes, you know, all the 5 seconds to save Erza. I've always been a fan of Erza and Wendy's kind of, you know, how much they care for each other, and their kind of almost sisterly dynamic. We saw a lot of that in Alvarez, particularly during the Irene fight. And I was hoping we'd see a little more of it instead of, like, when I saw Wendy, take action, before my mind instantly went, oh, right, she has the raise spell. A part of me was like, are we going to see, Wendy taking some responsibility for Erza? But yeah, let's talk about the Erza thing. I mean, I think it would work a lot worse if we had this spider form teased for a while. And then it's just one and done. But because she's there for like 2 pages, as Happy literally refers to it as a punchline, I'm still not the biggest fan of it. I think her design is really cool, and I would like to have seen it in action a little more. But it's not as bad as it could have been. Yeah, I don't know. I don't hate the way it was handled. It makes sense. Objectively, there's not really a better... Like, this is the most sensible way, in character, for them to have handled this. Maybe if Youko had somehow controlled Erza into specifically separating Wendy from the rest of the group and then going after the rest of the group sans Wendy, that could have worked. But I do think that kind of lack of preparation is sort of an important thing to Youko. That's part of her character. She thinks her powers are so overwhelming, and as soon as it doesn't work, she starts to panic. She's panicking even before Selene hits her with that "I'm bored." She's panicking as soon as Lucy is freed, really. By page 2, she's starting to sweat. Or page 4, I mean. Which is page 2 of the story. So I'm assuming... So that does seem to be kind of a deliberate character trait of Youko. That she's not exactly a strategist. But now she's going to go there herself. And we'll see what comes of that. Hopefully she is more... Like, they can't just use Rays on Youko. She's not being brainwashed here. And then we have the Whiteout Village. And so I kind of put forth the theory near the start of the Selene arc, that Selene got rid of Faris because she was scared of the whiteout magic. That having someone who could get rid of magic in her world is a threat to Selene. And her specifically targeting the Whiteout Village, the fact that there are so many other whiteout practitioners, kind of calls that theory into question, unless there's something special about Faris's whiteout magic. Maybe, possibly, I'm really just spitballing there. But yeah, there's still a lot of questions about Faris and Selene, and how Selene feels about the Whiteout Village, I'd say. And then there's this mystery person, who is at the village. I mean, the 2 choices are she's either whoever destroyed the village, or a survivor. Given the fact she seems to still be standing, I'd say she destroyed the village. Given that the smoke is, like, literally still rising, it seems like this just happened. Maybe destroying the village was a way to hamper Faris, now that Faris is back and her whiteout magic could be a threat, if she is somehow a special whiteout mage compared to the other whiteout mages. And now Faris and Touka are going to have to fight this new assassin from Selene. Because, yeah, I feel like if it was just a villager, a survivor, they'd be at least a little injured. So I'm going to guess this is another one of Selene's agents. I forget. Let me look at the chapter title. Yeah, I was curious about, do the Moonlit Beauty Gods have a number in their name? Like, are they the 3 Moonlit Beauty Gods, as opposed to 4, or as opposed to no numbered? And they are not numbered. So this could be a 4th member of the Moonlit Beauty Gods. Possibly. But yeah, I, for the most part, like this chapter. It worked. I do feel like I kind of alluded to in last chapters, the bit where Selene talks about emotions can surpass magic and witchcraft. I feel like similar to that, a lot of this chapter would be the kind of thing that if Fairy Tail was the fandom it was back in, like, late Tartaros or Grand Magic games, it would have been, like, shit all over by anime fandom at large. But I think it worked. I think it's pretty nice. It's not the best thing the series has ever done. But I think the resolution to the Wendy fight is pretty good. And Erza works as a quick gag. I do wish we'd seen more of that fight instead of just Wendy, healing her. But given what we knew, it's kind of the only sensible thing Wendy could have done in that situation, so I'll give it a pass. But now someone is at Whiteout Village, has just destroyed it, and is probably going to come for Faris and Touka next. So, yeah, that's all I have to say for this video. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like, or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!